Welcome back, Shalligators. Ciao d'Italia. I am in Italy on my Shalligator getaways. We've got 2 back-to-back, and I know, I've been MIA for you guys. I feel like before I even got to Italy, because before the trip, I was filming Evil Week for a long time. It takes a lot. I hope you guys have enjoyed Evil Week. And if you haven't gotten to see, you can still go ahead and watch it. It's still available on replay for another week, so you can still buy tickets and watch it that way. But today I want to talk about Tom and Gisele. I mean, when we hear rumors, there's discord and they're fighting. It's like, listen, I used to work for a celebrity magazine. Sometimes journalists have been known to just pick a couple and pick at something and conflate it and try to make a mountain out of a molehill. Well, turns out there was no molehill. Twas a mountain, because Tom and Gisele are officially divorced. By the time they confirmed these rumors, it was a done deal, which I think is kind of the way to do it. Take care of it behind the scenes, come out and be like, yo, it's already actually done. We're all moving forward. So I asked you guys on Instagram, what is the topic here? And overwhelmingly you said, dating a workaholic, dating someone whose career comes first. And you know what? Sometimes that person is you. What do you do if you're dating someone like that? And what do you do if you are somebody like that? How can we find a balance between work and love? And not lose someone like Gisele. And I say someone like Gisele and not someone like Tom Brady, because I do not think he's hot at all. Is his chin gotten weird? Has his chin gotten weird? What's going on there? I'm gonna tell you my own Tom Brady story. It's really not that exciting, but we're gonna get into this. But before we do, don't forget about my new downloadable course, Get Him Back, your 5-step manipulation master plan. Now, you can use this to get back an ex-boyfriend who maybe the timing was wrong. Maybe he was in a bad place, he's in a better one, whatever. Or you could use it to get him back, to flip the dynamic on a fuckboy and get the power for once. Or just to use it as a primer on how to seduce people, be better at sales, manipulation, friendship, and get out in front of life. Stop being the prey and start being the predator. You can go ahead and download that right below at the link in the bio. So let's talk Tom and Gisele. Damn, yo. I thought they were going to be together forever in their weird codependent hive of not eating almonds and being afraid of tomatoes and eggplants, or their weird food ritual. But listen, fucking look at the both of them. If a doctor was like, if you gave up almonds, you could look like Gisele. I'm like, I don't think so. I can't do an almond joy to look like a supermodel. No. Whatever they're doing is clearly working. And from what we have gleaned about the situation, there's not a lot really out there that's trustworthy. It seems like it came down to his career. So Tom announced, what was it, last year? I'm sorry, I'm not a football fan. I might not get all these facts right. Who cares? That he was retiring from football, American football. And he was like, LOL, JK. He came back, what was it, the next season? Did he even take one full season off? And this was kind of the beginning of the end. From what we can gather about their relationship is that I assume that they had some sort of agreement. You win one more Super Bowl, you play 5 more years, whatever it was. When you hit that, you need to retire and you need to be part of this family. Because when you look at Gisele, she's mostly retired. First of all, COVID and the pandemic fucked modeling altogether. There wasn't Fashion Week. People weren't doing elaborate photo shoots. So all models were kind of forcibly retired. People are back, but you know what I'm saying. So she has been taking a huge break, taking care of their kids. And I'm sure she wanted the love of her life home with her. And that was part of the deal. And a lot of people looked at that situation and were like, why would she want him to retire? He's in his prime. He's still doing well. Because that was their agreement as a couple. Okay? We don't need to agree with it. That's between them and Jesus and their kids and their pets and whatever, and their almonds and their nightshade eggplants. But if that's the agreement they struck and he reneged on it, what choice does she have? Now, look, the kind answer is well, the choice would be, talk it out and da-da-da. There's a time to talk and there's a time to walk. And maybe she got tired of talking. And maybe she realized a thing that I tell you guys all the time. The only thing men hear is silence. They don't hear what you say. They hear what you do. And for her to sit down and, baby, we need to work this out, or whatever her accent sounds like. I imagine it's beautiful. And he was like, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Maybe she wasn't getting through to him, and maybe she was tired of trying. Maybe she was tired of therapy, of begging, cajoling, having the kids making little macaroni portraits of their dad. Maybe she decided that it was time to call someone's bluff and to show him that actions have consequences. And when you choose something, you therefore choose the consequence. And maybe she walked. Dating a workaholic is, I suppose, the best kind of aholic that you can date. You don't want to date a shopaholic or an alcoholic or a Pornhubaholic or whatever. You want to date someone who is addicted to ambition, to achievement, because that is what men are hardwired to do. And being out here in Italy, and if you guys are interested in the stuff I'm seeing, some little history lessons and factoids, follow my Instagram at ShallonXO, because every caption is like a big historical thing and I make it funny and like tie it into what's going on today. And yeah, I do really want to start like a historical arm, a historical tentacle to my business octopus. I'm thinking of podcasts, because you can download it and like listen to it if you're walking around. And I would make a Google Drive with like visuals, like maps and family trees and portraits. But I was thinking of calling it Histy Fits, like madness and mayhem and meltdowns throughout the ages. What do you think? What do you think? Or yeah, I don't know. Tell me your ideas. You guys always have the best ideas and they're better than mine. Because I want to talk about everything from like the Medici clan to Billy the Kid to Queen Elizabeth, on all these people. I don't just want to focus it on Italy, even though I do know the most about Italy. Where was I going with this? Workaholic, alcoholic, shopaholic, Pornhubaholic. Okay, I think we'll see. Oh, being in Italy and seeing what people did by the time they were like 24. Michelangelo carved the Pietà at 24. And we talked about this before. Don't even fucking say to me, oh, they died super young. He lived to 89. A lot of people did. If you weren't dying in a war or childbirth, you lived as long as people live today. That's why the mortality age was so low back then, is because they were factoring in wars and childbirth, right? But if you were of semi-noble birth and you had decent food and nutrition, you lived a really long time. My point is, men are here to fucking make shit, okay? They're here to make shit and produce. So on one hand, I look at a guy who's a workaholic and I'm like, spend time with me. And then I'm like, Shallon, do not put yourself between his hardwiring. You know, don't get in the way of that. It's like you don't want a man telling you not to be a nurturer and a lover. Not that that's all we are, but that is part of our hardwiring. We're created to build relationships. I mean, birth babies. No, thank you. But we take that same mothering attitude and that warmth and that bridge building and that connectivity into everything that we do. And so you wouldn't want a guy being like, hey, could you be a little less creative? Why don't you hang out with your friends less? You'd be like, get fucked, Kyle. Shut up. So we don't want to mess with that either. So we want an ambitious man, but then it comes at a price, right? Because that thing, the hedge fund job, the cathedral he's building, whatever, is probably always going to come before us. Now, making those sort of ranking systems is a very dour experience. It's not very fun when you're like, I'm going to look at the reality that I come third on his list. This guy that I dated, if you're in the Shallontourage, the ferret, I was like very aware where my ranking would be if we had stayed together. Like his kids first, then like realistically probably his ex-wife, because she's the mother of his kids, you know, work, and maybe like then me. I'm like, but all those things are what I loved about him. He was a great dad. He had an amicable relationship. You know, he was able to like get out of a marriage and like be still close with someone. And I was like, that's really cool. That's really mature. I loved how ambitious he was and how much he'd achieved and all of that. But then the byproduct is like, well, if I had to rank myself, I'm not in a great place. So I think what's important to do is set a rubric. And this is good, because men who are workaholics and they have a really high pressure career, they're in like work mode all the time. You know, they can't really turn it off. And there's a gift and a curse to this. I mean, I remember reading an article by Elon Musk's ex-wife, Justine, like his first wife. Their divorce was so contentious. We studied it when I was in college, because my major was a lot of pre-law. So we were studying like cases. And this was before he was anybody. He was the owner of PayPal. And we were like, who fucking cares? And she said that one night, she's like, do not speak to me like I'm your employee, I'm your wife. And he said, I know you're not my employee, because if you were, I would have fired you by now. Wow. But that's the mentality. So you know what? Instead of trying to fight that, use that to your advantage. Be like, okay, I'm going to approach him from that hyperlogical achievement standpoint. And I'm going to say, listen, what I need you to do is block out your calendar Friday from 6 to 9. That's when we have family dinner, and then you and I go do a bunch of weird sex shit. I need you to give me every single Sunday. You can have Tuesday morning, you can have Thursday night for work, whatever. You need to carve out what you want, because for high achievers and people who are very like action oriented and logical, saying, I need more from you. They're like, I don't know what that means. I don't know. What do you want from me? You want all the money I'm making. You want the private jets. You want my ambition. You want the flex, but you don't want to know how that actually works. You don't want the work that comes along with it. It's very frustrating to them. And I'm saying this as a workaholic. I'm like a double agent right now telling you the deal, because I have had a few friends over the last few years be like, you haven't been a very good friend to me. And I'm like, okay, what do you need from me? Please make a bullet point list. Let's negotiate this like a contract. DocuSign it. Make a bullet point list, what you need, and I will redline what I'm not able to do. Can we do that? I'm busy right now. Like when they come at me, it's like, but my feelings and it's repellent, because I'm already so stressed and I'm afraid to like break eye contact with my like career demon, that I'm like so focused on all the time and working and hustling and in that mode, that if I break that, I don't know that I can get back into it. Or I can, but it takes a lot of effort. Does that kind of make sense? It's like if you're an elite athlete training for the Olympics and someone's like, let's go to Cancun for the weekend and like kick back. And they're like, okay, but I have like my diet and my training thing. And if I do that, I'm going to like it, but then it's going to feel really hard to get back in the groove of things and training for this thing that I really want. That's how it feels, And if you can understand that, you can try to diagnose it. You can attack the problem from a way that is going to increase positive outcomes. So I told my friends this. I'm like, I need you to tell me what you need from me, and then I can tell you what's possible and what's not. And I know that sounds really businesslike, but my business is why I've become a bad friend, And so you have to kind of roll with me on this. Like, don't fight City Hall. Like if you truly want a good outcome, if you want us to be better friends, if you want to get your needs met, you need to kind of like meet me halfway and in this place that I'm in, which is like hyper achievement, hyper focus. And some did, and some didn't. Some are like, I just feel like you should. I'm like, they weren't giving me concrete ideas. And then I was like, this is exhausting to me and I don't make any money in this conversation right now. And you're costing me money. That sounds very reptilian and very Machiavellian. But I am a reptile, and I am a female Niccolo Machiavelli. So, and I'm creating something huge here. And people who come at me, well, you didn't use enough emojis. Get the fuck out of my way. Get the fuck out of my way. So again, I'm telling you this so that you can tailor your approach to your loved one. I want you to come up, first and foremost, with your love language. What's your love language? I love how almost no one has read the actual book, yet we all know what the love languages are. It's like very like, it's kind of like Jesus focused. I know, who knows? So your love languages are physical touch, compliments / words of affection, gifts, quality time, and acts of service. Mine, quite frankly, are all of them. Yeah, mine are all of them. But it's absolutely words of affection, and I would say acts of service. Like, I really find it I'm so appreciative if a guy like brings me my coffee, or like the guy I'm dating, he like knows what kind of oat milk I like the brand, and he makes sure I always have it in my house. And I'm in Italy and he went over and he picked my packages up for me. I'm like, thank you. We're working on the compliments thing. It's not his love language. He's quality time, physical touch, acts of service. He's like, compliments, I don't really care. And I straight up said, I do care. That is chiefly what I need. I'm a peacock. That's not the sound they make. Ah! They make a horrible sound. Ah! But that is me. I am a peacock. I'm more of a goose. Follow my Instagram. We're going to talk about gooses in a bit. I digress into goose territory. My point is, I was straight up. I'm like, this is what I need. And you can couch it in a funny way. Like, hey, I have a high maintenance request. Okay. You'd be like, okay. You'd be like, I need a good morning text. Good morning, princess. I bet you woke up looking beautiful. I can't wait to see you tomorrow night for dinner. I don't need to text all day, but I need a good morning princess text. And I don't want it to say precisely good morning princess every day. I need you to like workshop this, maybe make a Google Drive spreadsheet. I need it to get creative, but that's what I need in order to feel whole, happy, stable, and loved in this relationship. Okay? We can't expect people to be mind readers. And I think that that's been a huge issue for me in relationships in the past. Like I truly thought like, well, if they loved me, they would just know. Did I even know? I expected people to know about me what I did not. Oh shit. Oh, sorry. Thought something bad happened. Yeah, and it's like I wasn't in touch with my own needs. It's like, but I'm just not getting enough. Enough of what? Enough. You got to get granular. We can't expect someone else. Like, we wouldn't go to dinner and talk to the waiter and be like, well, why don't you just bring me what I want? What do you want? You should know. Why would I know? You have to tell me. I'll bring you whatever you tell me, but you have to tell me. If you loved me, guy at Chili's, you'd know what I want. That's crazy. We're used to asking for what we want in all other categories. And for some reason, when it comes to dating, we're like, no, I can't. It means he doesn't love me. He might not love you, but you don't know that until you like try at least. Because look, I'll be nice the first 2 times I ask a guy for something. It used to be 1, but that's my avoidant attacher, snake monster coming out. And I'm like, okay, I'm trying to move into secure. First time I say, I have a high maintenance request. Good morning, princess. If I have to say it a second time, the tone changes a little bit. Hey, okay, so I remember my high maintenance request. Okay, I don't get those texts. And honestly, like it makes me feel, it hurts my feelings because I really look forward to that. And when you did it that one weekend, it made me so happy. And it makes me, honestly, it makes me kind of want to pull away and it makes me really doubt how you feel about me. So if you do feel strongly about me, this is how I need you to show it. Okay? And you can say, I probably won't bring this up again. Okay? I'm trying to be communicative. Be honest. But I don't bring it up again and again and again and again and again. We can communicate our needs. We watch what people do because remember, we got to look at what people do and not just what they say. Talk is cheap. Talk is cheap. And then we pull a Gisele. If we are looking at the reality of a situation, I have told this man what I need. I have assessed whether or not that's realistic. Why can't you take 3 months off in the summer with me? Because I run a fucking hedge fund, Kristen, right? And not just not realistic, but something they don't want to do. Like people tell me a lot, you should unplug and turn off your phone all weekend. I don't want to. Why don't you just log out of Instagram? No. You don't need to stress so much about what your captions are and what you post. That's what I like to do. Like this, I enjoy this. I wouldn't do this if I didn't enjoy it. And hardworking people usually, hopefully, enjoy what they do. So if you are making somebody choose between what actually fulfills them in a deep way and you, why do you think guys cheat with their secretary? Because she gets it. Oh my gosh, hi, Mr. Jones. You want another latte? I've got you. You did so great on that presentation. Wow. She gets it. And it's an easier, more frictionless experience. Are you creating friction? Now look, like I said, this is a delicate balance between getting your needs met and frictionlessness, or as much as we can achieve. Your needs shouldn't go completely by the wayside because, oh, he runs a hedge fund, or he just works a lot, or he's in school or whatever. You want to give someone a little grace, but remember, if something's important, someone finds a way. And if it's not, they find an excuse. I am going to devote my entire winter to, in real life, hunting down guys who try to tell me, sorry, I've been busy, and beating the living shit out of them. That's what I want to do this winter. I want to hunt down, the district attorney might refer it as stalking. I want to stalk guys who try to say that they're too busy to do X, Y, Z. And maybe not just for me, for any of you guys too. I'm a gun for hire. And just beat the shit out of them with my tiny dumb fists. Because it is galling to me when people say that. First of all, I fucking bet you're not busier than me. I bet you're not. So why don't we start there? Second of all, This is the example I always use because it's never less true. You know who was busy? Barack Obama. Was he dating someone? Oh my God, wait, was he married? And with 2 children? And not just married to some wet dish rag like Melania, married to like a badass like Michelle? So you're telling me that it's possible for someone to be busy and married? And you couldn't text me back, Kevin? Like, I'm just like getting on the same page here. It's galling to me when I hear that. It makes me livid. I go from a 0 to 60. But listen, that is an excuse. Of course he's not too busy to text. You can do it on the toilet, for God's sakes. You can do it anywhere. If it was important, they'd write back. So it's very important for us to learn to see through that. You're busy, got it. Hope you're busy learning to suck your own dick because it's not going to be me, dude. Bye. We cannot accept this. One of my friends, she was dating this guy, and it's like, he's so busy with work. He's so busy with work. I'm like, he works at a brewery. Like, he works at a brewery. He's not too busy to fuck. He comes over at 11 p.m. to fuck, and then he leaves. But he couldn't go to dinner. Huh. I'm sure he ate dinner. He's fat, so he ate dinner. So, and she's like, I'm just giving him grace. I'm like, we don't need grace. God will give someone grace. God gives grace. I give consequences. That's the difference. Unless you want to worship me like a god and build a deity to me and build an altar and have rosaries and you say the holy Shallon every day, I am not graceful like God. I am an earthly beast. So, what do you do? Now, the word ultimatum is like one we're all supposed to consider basically a 4-letter word. It's bad. You don't want to give someone an ultimatum. If you don't do this, then I'm blah, blah, blah. What's so wrong with that, though? What's so wrong with that? What's so wrong with saying, listen, this is what I need. If those needs aren't met, I'm out. Again, though, you have to make those declarative statements and those cause-effect statements under the under the parameter of, is it realistic and is it fair? Realistic. Is it realistic he's going to skip this huge conference in Shanghai to go to your cousin's wedding? Is that realistic that he could do that? Probably not. Is it realistic he could take 2 months off all summer? Probably not. And more than anything, is it fair? Are you asking someone to give up something that is important to them, that matters to them, that they love for you? Love is logistics. It is. Antoine de Saint-Exupéry, he wrote The Little Prince, has one of my favorite quotes of all time about love. He said, love is not 2 people looking at each other. It's 2 people looking out in the same direction. Tom and Giselle were no longer looking in the same direction. She was maybe looking inward. Maybe they wanted to move abroad. I don't know. But he was looking at Tampa Bay, Florida. Okay. I'd be looking at Giselle. But anyway, to each his own. Oh, my Tom Brady story. It's nothing exciting. I went to an event, this was like 10 years ago, that him and Will Arnett hosted. I probably told this before. Will Arnett was married to Amy Poehler, who was on Arrested Development. And I was like, oh yeah, he seems cute. In real life, he was gorgeous, gorgeous, stunning. Tom Brady looked a little kind of kooky. He looked like not quite right. I was like, what am I seeing? Tom Brady looks like Mr. Peanut to me. Mr. Peanut, jaunty. He's not for me. He's all you guys. You got him. I'll take Will Arnett, who's paunchy now and hosts a show about Legos. Last fuckable day, alas. So if your needs are realistic, yes, it's going to take some sacrifice on this person's part. Like, okay, you're going to have to log out of your emails on Saturdays and Sundays. That's our family time. That's our fun time. Okay, I need you to put up some boundaries with your mom. Like, yes, it's going to be a sacrifice. That's the point. If it's realistic that this is even possible without their world entirely collapsing, and if it's fair to ask, it's fair that I get 2 days of family time. Me and the kids get family time. It's fair that your mom doesn't third wheel it on dates with us. it's fair that you don't play poker 6 nights a week and drain our finances. Then I think and you can present the argument that way. Like, what I'm proposing is realistic. I will help you figure out the schedule. I will help you do this and that, and pick up the slack so that you don't feel stressed out taking the weekend off. And if it's fair to them, again, you propose it like that, then you have the right to say, and listen, if this doesn't happen, I have no choice but to get these needs met elsewhere. What do you mean? What do you think I mean, Logan? What do you think I mean? This is not what I want. I want to be with you. I want to have a family with you. I want to spend my weekends with you. But I want to spend my weekends with someone. I don't want to be alone. I don't want to go to dinner by myself on my birthday. So if you aren't fully committed to me, if you're not giving to me what I'm giving to you, then either you're not in a place to be in a relationship, or this is as good as it gets. And neither one of those scenarios is acceptable to me. Dating is something you have to be able to afford. And I don't just mean money. You have to be able to afford it time-wise, logistically, obviously financially, and emotionally. Like, all of these things need to come together. Love is logistics. And if someone is like, I'm so busy right now, then you shouldn't be dating. You shouldn't be on a dating app. And if you think that I'm busy means you still get to have sex with me, but you want girlfriend commitment from me, but I don't get boyfriend commitment from you, miss me with that. Miss me. No thanks. And it's hard when you see someone putting in so much effort to something that isn't you. That's what's really, really, really tough. And I know that's how I've been as a girlfriend, like the past 2 years. Like, there are very few boys who can compete with my career. Boys bore and annoy me, and you guys don't. And it's like, would I rather talk to you guys or my friends in Montana or travel or my dog or just be alone or talk to your bitch ass about elk hunting? No, I wouldn't. And I had a guy say, like, if you're so busy, like, I just don't know that you are able to be in a relationship. And I got like very defensive. I'm like, oh, so you want me to give up my career? He was asking the most reasonable thing in the world. I didn't actually like him, so it seemed unreasonable to me. But that's the thing. That's it right there. I didn't like him. And so I was using work as an excuse. The guy I'm dating now, I'm like, laptop shut, logged off, bye, hi baby. Like, I am laser focused on him. When he's coming over, I'm not talking to anybody. I make time. Oh, I make time. Because it's important to make time for him. And that other guy, it wasn't. And I wish I had been less of a chicken shit and just been like, I'm actually just not into this. And instead of letting someone hang around and then I get the ick and the irk where I was annoyed and vexed with him all the time and resentful that he was taking time away from me making money and producing things, I could have just been like, I'm sorry, this isn't working. So we can't always expect people to tell us that. I mean, I communicate about relationships for a living. So you would think if anybody could, I could, and I couldn't. I didn't. Selfishness, cowardice, dress it up in whatever you want. That was the end result. He had to do it himself. He had to basically dump himself and get away from me. I know, it sucks, it's gross. But again, like, we need to read between the lines and be like, okay. So for Gisele and Tom, this wasn't about football. This was about integrity, keeping promises, and maybe just being over it. He'd rather be at work. Maybe he got a feeling at work that he didn't get at home. That's why I love work. You see me and you know me and we talk about things and I feel valued here and I feel understood. And it's like, okay, so I should not talk to you guys tonight or do work tonight. And I should go on this dumb Tinder date with this fucking redneck who has never been out of the country. And he doesn't get me, and he's gonna think I'm, why would I do that? Why would I go to a place that's like a foreign land for me emotionally when I could be where I feel good and where I feel successful, where I'm not a disappointment, where I'm not a weirdo. And maybe that's how Tom felt. When I'm at home, I'm never doing anything right. And when I'm on the field, Brady. Like, they are obsessed with me. So where is that ego gonna go? And again, it's tough because you can't blame her for being like, well, I'm nagging you because I'm not getting my needs met. And then it goes back to, then you gotta walk. If the talk doesn't work, the walk always does. They hear the walk. They hear those YSLs click-clacking out the door. They hear it louder than a nag. They hear it louder than a fight. It's the only thing they hear. Kaboom, the door slamming shut behind you. Are you bluffing sometimes when you do that? Yeah. I've never stormed out of anything and away from anyone that I was not desperate to chase me. You know, it's like my own personal Hail Mary. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And if it doesn't, let them go. If it's fragile, let it break. You know, all we can do is stand up for ourselves and be like, this is what I need, and I'm not getting that need met. And I'd rather be alone. At least then I'm not relying on someone to meet my needs and thinking these needs are going to get met. That's maddening, right? That's the worst feeling in the world. Whether you're in a group project in 5th grade or you're in a marriage where your needs aren't met and you're like, oh, you didn't bring the construction paper. Got it. No, I got it. Or you're in a relationship and you think you have a partner. You think that someone's going to pull up for you and they don't. And it's the loneliest feeling in the world. And you're not alone. You're worse than alone. You're partnered up with someone who isn't a partner to you. I am fine on my own. I like it. I'm good. I mean, I need to get laid. Oof. Damn sex drive. It's very annoying. Anyway. But at least when I'm alone, it's like, I always go back to, it's like, buy your own birthday cake. Don't rely on other people to make the magic for you. If you have a specific kind of birthday cake you want, buy it for yourself. Bring it to your own party. You're like, hell yeah, this is the cake I like. Instead of like, oh, peanut butter. Thanks, Jen. No, that's fine. I'm allergic. No, that's fine. If you loved me, you would have known that. Buy your own cake. Meet your own needs. Because when you are good at meeting your own needs, you look at the Tom Bradys, you look at the partners who aren't pulling up for you, who are busy, they're workaholics, whatever, and you're like, I am so good at meeting my own needs that I know what I am asking for from this person isn't too much. I'm not asking them to complete me and anchor me and give me purpose and give me a future. I know how to give that to myself. I'm practiced at it. I'm asking for a good morning, princess text. My needs are not over the top. I'm not too much. They're too little. And therefore, when you have these conversations, you're having them from a place of strength. Not, I will leave you. Brady, I'll leave. No, you fucking won't leave. But when you come from a strong place, they can tell. They can tell. And if they can't, they'll learn the hard way, right? And you'll feel better about walking out. You'll feel not like this is a huge bluff, and if he doesn't pull up for me, I have nothing. My whole identity, my whole future, my whole everything goes with him. No, the fuck it doesn't. If anything, I take his identity with me. I'm the best thing that ever happened to him. It makes you more likely to walk out and more confident when you do it and more resilient if that has to be the outcome. I hope Gisele isn't sitting home crying because she can do better than Mr. Peanut. Don't even come at me that she should date Pete Davidson. I just need a break. I just need a break, okay? I need a break. She needs a break. She suffered enough. Gisele. Wow, is that your real hair? I'll be back next time, Shalligators. We have my new Shalligator getaway kicks off tomorrow. We have a group of 20 more girls coming in, 15 or 20, I can't even remember. So I'm gonna be super busy with that, but I'll be back stateside around November 11th, and then I will be back in action for you guys. I have nothing else on my plate except for a billion videos, all for y'all. Let me know your history podcast name suggestions. Histy Fits? What do we think? I don't know. All right, I'll see you later, Shalligators.